Hello, my loves. Welcome back to another video on Starseed Academy. My name is Jenny. Today, I want to talk with you all about Arcturians. I kind of realized that in my Meet the Cosmos series, we have covered a lot of different star nations, yet we haven't really, and we've talked all about the GFL and the Fae and like all the things, yet for some reason, I haven't covered Arcturians yet. And so I definitely want to do that for you today. As always with this series, I want to open up the floor to questions that you have about this topic. If I get enough questions, I always do like a part two. For instance, when I did the GFL video, there were so many questions. So we definitely did a part two on that one. So I'm totally open to that. It really is up to you guys what the audience wants to know more about. So before we jump into the topic, Arcturians, I just wanted to quickly mention that, inside the Starseed Academy membership group, we visit all of these places together. Like we've been to so many places within the Milky Way, and Inner Earth, and future timelines like New Earth, and the GFL, the Galactic Federation of Light, the Moon, like Andromeda and Pleiades and Orion, and just so many places together. And so if this is the kind of like subject matter that you're interested in, if you're trying to get to know our Milky Way neighbors and the different star nations that are, working with humanity or interested in humanity at all, the grays, all the things, then the Starseed Academy membership is definitely something that you would love. Like you would love it so much. We do all kinds of astral journeys and astral missions, but we don't just do that. We also do a lot of workshops, master classes. We're doing light language this month, soul language. We've done psychic gifts, clairvoyance. We've done Akashic records. We've done oh my God, we've just done so much, like even like spiritual business stuff. And again, whatever they are requesting in there, we do it. So I'm really open to what my audience or my members really want to do. And it's a really fun place for me to play. Because inside the membership group, there's all of this content that's never been seen before. Like it's not on YouTube, it's not anywhere. There's like almost 200 videos now of stuff that we've done together, and you can't find it anywhere else. So even if you didn't make the live events, even if you just joined for the community, the chats, the contests, and that huge resource library of like 200 videos, it would still be so insanely valuable. So just think about that. Of course, the link is in the bio as usual. But we can jump into the video now, all about Arcturians. So I just wanted to start, I guess, by saying my own maybe experiences. I have an Arcturian guide that came forward maybe like 2 years ago. Maybe a little longer, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. And it's a masculine guide. His name is Anzabar, and he is somebody that I had a lifetime with. He felt like a father figure or an older uncle, like definitely family vibes, and definitely an older male, like that looked over me, like watched out for me. In that lifetime, I was a female Arcturian. I saw myself as being fairly young. For their age, I guess. And my name was Danny in that life. And I was like very, like an adrenaline seeker. I know that might seem weird, but that's something that I really enjoyed in that life. I remember like doing a lot of flying, climbing mountains. Like I was really into seeking like adrenaline sports. I don't even know why, but it's just really, really interesting to see that these different star nations, they are not so different from us. And I want you to understand that before we dive in, because they too have families. They too have, trials and things that they go through, and homes and divine work that they do. They have fun. They have personalities. They laugh. And if you start to get to know your own spirit team, you will see this. You will see that even angels are hilarious. They care about us so much, but they have these very unique personalities where they're really funny, and they have their own, just like they're all just so unique, just like our souls, just like humans. It's not that different, okay? Because what comes through in your personality is actually from a soul level, and the human is really more of like the avatar. Because that's what comes through at a soul level. It doesn't matter what physical incarnation or physical form, what kind of body you take, your personality shines through no matter what. Okay, so just remember that they're not so different. So let's talk about Arcturians. Okay, I have a couple of notes here that I have to keep me on track. So they are an evolved humanoid. That means that they started as some kind of a human version. It might not be the exact same human version that we are, because there's so many different versions of humans, actually, there is. There are humans that are connected to Lyrans. There are humans that are connected to Greys. I know a lot of people say the Greys are us in the future, but only one version of humanity, only certain timelines. Arcturians are also a very evolved humanoid, okay? They are such a high vibration that I would match them up with like the Ascended Master realms, right? So they are the oldest star nation in the Milky Way, and they are like one of the highest vibrational ones as well. So just like Ascended Masters. Now, what's higher than that? Blue rays, because blue rays are more like angelic energy. So I would say like it's angels and blue rays, and then Ascended Masters and Arcturians, and then you start getting lower into things like mantis beings, Andromedans, and then we come down from there. Okay. So I have seen when I've done some timeline visits and Akashic visits and collective, all these visits, I have actually seen scenes clairvoyantly of Arcturians visiting Earth during the time of dinosaurs. So I want you to understand just how old they are as a species. I don't actually know how long a lifespan is. We'll see if it comes through, because I'm open to channeling as we go through this. But as a species is what I'm saying, that the Arcturians have been around since the birth of Gaia, since the beginning of Earth, and when it was being formed, and when there was dinosaurs. And I've seen them visiting during times like Lemuria. And so they've always kind of been there, right? Like they've always kind of been like our galactic neighbors. But the thing about them is they have so much love for life, like all the planets, all of the life forms, including humanity, including Earth. They have so much love and compassion because of their extreme age, their extreme wisdom, because they've been through all these phases. They have so much compassion for that they understand that the highest way to respect a species is non-interference. And some people think that non-interference is this negative thing. And they think that, oh, they've abandoned us. But it is, what I'm understanding from the Arcturians is, it is the highest form of love and respect, is to give us the space, give humanity the space to write their own history, to have those moments where we break through something, to have our evolution. And of course, there is disclosure at different times on Earth, but all of those times were during the golden eras, like Lemuria's or Atlantis, or a little bit of ancient Egypt, but it faded. And why it faded was Lemuria. Oh, that might be too much to share. I was like, just going to try and share with you about, I've shared this before, so I just want to direct you to a video called The Rise and Fall of Golden Eras, and it will give you an understanding of the science behind how our solar system moves through these photon belts of light. And every time we enter into a photon belt of light, we're in a golden era, and that lasts around 2,000 years. But then inevitably we start to descend, and that's because Earth is a school. I hope that you understand that we're not going to just get to this golden era, which we are on an ascension path right now. We're coming up, but we're not just going to get to the golden era and stay there. That's not Earth. Earth is a school. She has this secular pattern called the precession cycle. And that is what makes her such an incredible place to come and visit during her different eras, like golden ages, dark ages, and everything in between, a descension path, an ascension path. There are a lot of reasons why a soul would want to visit Earth on an ascension path, but there are just as many reasons why you would come here during her descension. It really depends on where your soul is at in its own soul journey, because the soul journey is like a smaller version of that. We have it's a circle. We have a descension from God's source down through the angelic realms, down through the ascended masters. We descend. Sometimes we go really, really low as we're ready to go, as low as we feel like we can can handle. And then we start to ascend back up. And one loop is a soul journey, a soul cycle. And you can do many of those loops. And it adds so much depth, so much knowledge, so much wisdom to your soul. So I see Arcturians visiting during Lemuria, which was that golden era. And then I see them visiting during Atlantis, which was the dissension was starting. And then I see them visiting at the beginning of ancient Egypt, but then tapering off because now it's moved down into a lower frequency. They only visit during the golden eras because that is when humans understand that we have galactic neighbors and they're not interfering. If they come during a time when humans are not open to that, like right now, basically, it's not mainstream for disclosure to be a thing. So they don't do interference because it shakes the natural progression of Earth school, which is so important for us. Okay, hopefully that made sense. So non-interference is a beautiful, respectful, loving, and compassionate thing to do. And the only time that I've ever seen like any kind of an interference, and I don't even know if this is true, maybe this is just, feel into this. The only time I've heard of an interference happening is if say, a species of a planet was about to eradicate itself. Like say humans were about to blow up the earth with some kind of a nuclear weapon. Then the disclosure would, then the interference would happen, but it would not be disclosure. They would quietly in the background undetonate, if that's a word, the weapons. And I have heard a lot, I've read a lot, and I've seen a lot of videos from military leaders that say that there are unidentified craft whenever they're doing like something to do with nuclear arms, I don't know, arms, and they will deactivate, de-detonate, undetonate those. It's just amazing. And that is because they're not gonna maybe allow us to fully destroy this planet, which is a good thing, but there is non-interference. Okay. So let's talk about the appearance. Okay. So the appearance of Arcturians is I always see them the same, and you just see what resonates for you, okay? Like I'm not saying that I'm just saying this is what my experiences are, okay? Because it's quite different than what some other people have reported. So for me, Arcturians are always blue. Their skin is blue. I never see them with hair. They're always like bald and they have blue skin, and it's like a dark but bright blue. I don't think I've ever seen them with like hair on their head, but I haven't seen all of them, so I don't know for sure, right? But they are always blue in my eyes. And they are tall. Like they are like very tall. Like I would say, taller than a regular human. Let's say like even 9-10 feet tall when they're in like some kind of a physical form that you can see. So, and they also have like, so they have like a bit of a interesting shaped head where it kind of goes up into like a bigger, like up here's like kind of like this shape, almost like it has like a bit of a heart shaped. And then the chin is more like pointed or round. It kind of goes up into this, and then it's all bald. And then they have like long, thin necks, like long, their limbs are like lanky, like long arms and long fingers and just long bodies. They're always wearing clothes. I see a lot of them cloaked in white, wearing white a lot of the time, whether that is literally like a cloak. I've seen the guide that I've seen before has this like white cloak that like fastens here, and it almost has like a high collar that goes up and around, like especially if they don't have hair, you can really see it's like bald, and then there's this like high collar and it like floats behind them, and then they have some kind of like clothing on as well. Is there anything else that I can describe? They have very kind eyes. I've seen a lot of like brown eyes. I think for me in particular, I've seen that their eyes look human and not like a gray where it's like just a big black, I don't know, like just one big black thing. It's like they have a color to their eye. They are larger than our eyes, but that's because they're bigger than us, right? The whole thing about them is bigger. So what's interesting, and this might, for some of you that have worked with Arcturians and have worked with their Andromedans, let's see if I can put this together for you. To me, it's like the Arcturians are the divine masculine version of the divine feminine Andromedans. because they are so similar in so many ways. And I get this very feminine vibe, excuse me. Excuse me. The divine feminine Andromedans are extremely similar looking, but they have a pale purple skin to this brighter blue skin. They are also extremely tall. They're also very lanky and long. They also don't have hair. They also have a heart-shaped face where it's like the chin, but instead of having like two like nodules on their head that come down into the chin, I see Andromedans as being like this pointy little chin that just goes up into a smooth kind of higher. It's big, the head is bigger and smooth up here, and then it kind of gets a little smaller. Andromedans have the same idea. They have these, but Andromedans almost have like a more exotic eye, where their eye is more like this almond shape that goes back. Like, and they can be different colored eyes, but it kind of goes back. It's like quite large. And the Arcturians almost have like more of just like the round eyes. What else? They both have very, very small noses, and like the long, lanky fingers and that. And the funny thing about it is it's also a feeling. Like they feel similar, but this feels like the masculine energy of like logic. It's almost like they evolved at the same time. They started from the same version of humanoid, and then one went into the divine feminine and one went into the divine masculine, and it's like they balance each other out in the universe, and it's very equal. But the masculine Arcturian feels like very practical, very logical. They love math, they love science, they love seeking wisdom and intelligence. And then the divine feminine of the Andromedans, they are healers, energy movers, creators, have that softer feeling energy. So I don't know why, but those two feel like twin flame species or something. You know what I mean? Like it's something that started from the same place and then became the masculine and the feminine versions. And why? Because we live in a universe that honors masculine to feminine. It honors these polarities in that way to create wholeness and oneness. Okay, so that's just something really interesting that I have felt and noticed. Another thing, okay, so I have seen one of their planets before. I visited one of their planets before, talking about Arcturians now. And the planet that I visited had mountains, huge, huge, huge mountains. And the mountains had like a purplish color to them. They were very pointy, like a lot of like huge points, mountains all around. My ear just popped as I said that. Weird. And then there was also a lot of trees. So it was like, because I kind of came down from above and I saw all of these, what looked kind of like our pine trees, like pointy trees, and all of these mountains coming up. So it was like this beautiful, huge kind of like forest area where I landed, and then all of these mountains. And they took me to the base of one of the mountains, and inside was this cave, and it was a healing cave, and it was really, really incredible. Actually, I'm talking about, I did this. I took my membership. That's right. We did the healing caves of Arcturus. And we all saw this planet, and we all went to this mountain and into this cave. So that's one of their planets that I've seen. They also do, though, like that was a little bit of a quiet area that we were visiting, but they do have communities, right? Like they do have probably cities and small communities. And what I've seen this in many places around the Milky Way, that their buildings or like their cities and their like a lot of what they make are made from this material that I don't have a word for, but I think it exists. Like I think someone's channeled the word for this. So let me know if you know what I'm talking about. I haven't channeled this yet, but I've seen it in Lyra, I've seen it in Atlantis, and I've seen it in Arcturus. It's this clear material that it's completely clear like glass, but it's super, super strong, like the strongest material in the universe kind of thing, but it's completely clear. And that's what they build everything out of. And I've heard astronauts talk about how they saw buildings made out of clear material on the moon. I've seen this material in Lyra. In Lyra, it was their vehicles, their little pods that they floated around in. In Atlantis, it was a lot of the cities. And in Arcturus, it was the cities as well. So it's like having huge buildings or whatever, like made out of this clear, strong material that lets the sun in. which seems like a big reason for it. They understand the importance of sun, and also is beautiful because the sun shines off of it. But there's more to this material. I don't know the name of it. I think I should do a video about it because I feel like it's intelligent. It's something that you can, it's not like you cut it into pieces and form something out of it. It's like you will it into being. So there's a consciousness, and it works with creators, and I don't know, it's just really cool. Okay. So clear material, no vehicles. I've seen no vehicles on their planets. For Arcturians, I see them just either flying, I have seen them flying, but I also see them just kind of like dematerialize and then rematerialize where they want to be. So that they're very in a high frequency. Like, think about ascended masters. That's what I was saying that they were comparable to. Well, they're not really physical beings then, are they? They can take on like a physical form when they're visiting places, but probably when they're at home and comfortable, they don't need to do that. And so they're able to just like dematerialize, rematerialize, like astrally just pop in and out of space and time. So I don't see any vehicles on their planet. It's not like Lyra. But I did see when they were visiting Earth or visiting Lemuria, I did see a vehicle then. So I'm wondering if that means that it's safer for them, or just easier, maybe less strain to, if it's off their own world, if they're going all the way to Earth to visit, to take some kind of a vehicle. And that vehicle was then made of that same clear material that I'm trying to describe to you. That's like, it literally looks like plexiglass, like kind of like a little bit thick, not too thick, and totally clear. I don't know what it is. It's so cool. Okay. And again, at the beginning, I said they are not that different from us. They do have families. They do have children. They are able to, like, I know like the Greys can't breed, but Arcturians are able to have families. Like I said to you, when I saw myself in that life, I felt like I was, in like late teens, early 20s, Earth terms, because their lifespans are probably like thousands of years. In fact, I'm certain that they are. They have families. They do divine work. They do a lot of divine work. So one of the divine things is obviously healers. Arcturian healing is very different. It's very divine masculine. It's very like, and so I see like a lot of divine masculine humans using it here on Earth. I do see some Arcturian healers here. Doesn't mean that you have to be male to do it. It just means you have a lot of masculine energy if it resonates with you. Because there's a lot of like technology involved in it. And that resonates for a lot of people, right? Like, I love that. So when we did our Arcturian healing with the membership, when I took everybody there, we were brought into this cave that was like, the outside was rock, but the inside of it was like crystal, like a geode almost, but cleaned out. And then from the floor, there were these carved slabs of crystal. But it was important that it all be connected to the mountain, like that it didn't get cut off, shaped, and then replaced there. It was still attached because the mountain had like a spirit of healing, and they were working alongside the soul of the mountain, or the spirit of the mountain. So anyway, coming up from the floors were these like pedestals that turned into big flat slabs that you would lay down on for healing. And they would lay you down on this crystal slab, and then they would hook you up to a couple of things. Like, there were some things on the hands, like you got hooked up to some kind of like machines that were able to monitor the progress or whatever it was. And it was very technical. Like, there was a lot of technical sounds as they were doing their healing. There's lots of like beeping and whirring and like machines that they were using. And I also saw that these particular Arcturians had like a special glove that they put on. They put on this one glove, just one, and they used that glove to hover over the body of the humans, because we were visiting as humans, hover over the body of the humans. And this glove was able to pull up a holographic visual of our soul blueprint, of our meridians, of our chakras, of our energy bodies and fields, energy fields and stuff. So whatever technology was in the glove, it was able to take that and kind of like zoop, pull it up. And then you could see this 3D hologram hovering above the person of their system, their personal, energetic, health field system, everything. And from there, they could see like if there were blocks, things that needed to be removed, cleared, things that were ready to be upgraded. Like I saw them like taking some things out, straightening things, doing all this work, basically adding in things like upgrades and different things. And then when they were done, they would like push that hologram back down into the body, like back down in, and then it goes back into you and you're like, oh, and then you integrate that. And the integration is not instant because we're humans and it takes us a little longer. So then you would be integrating that over a few days, but a very divine masculine techie way of healing, very, very different than the Andromedans, which are the divine feminine, right? So I just think that that's really cool to see them as equals, but different. Another way that I have seen them working in divine work or a divine mission is with higher councils. There's the Arcturian Council of Light. There is councils within the Galactic Federation of Light that is either all Arcturians or has partial Arcturian. There is the Grand Central Sun, which is the Grand Central Sun is like the hub of our entire universe. The Galactic Federation of Light that we know is more like a hub of the Milky Way. So there's larger versions of that because there's like a Galactic Federation of Light probably in each galaxy, like a headquarters, but then there's the larger hub at the Grand Central Sun, because the Grand Central Sun is the center of all galaxies and the universe. And so I've seen them at the Grand Central Sun. I've seen them at the Milky Way Galactic Federation of Light. So they are working as in a lot of different ways. Like I've seen them as obviously as the healers, but I've also seen them as ambassadors. I've seen them, like I said to you, visiting Earth and monitoring things like measuring, taking samples, like, is it on track? How's Earth doing? Like really caring about, during the time of the dinosaurs, the frequency, the like all the things that you could measure, not just the energy, but the soil itself. Like they are very much, very, very intelligent, almost like scientist vibes. Not like the Greys, because they have so much heart and so much compassion, and they've evolved way beyond where the Greys are. Okay, so that's just some of the kinds of different work that you might see them doing. Ambassadors, visiting different planets, scientists, healers, mentors, mediators between constellations, like all kinds of cool stuff. Just very, very wise in many ways, and very feels like very divine masculine. Okay, so that's all I had right now for information, but I thought I would give you a little mini experience where we call in your Arcturian guide so that you can kind of feel this energy that I'm referring to. So if you're into that, continue watching. If you are not into that, you can, end your video here, but don't forget about the incredible Starseed Academy membership and check out that link below. Okay, so for those of you that want to try this, I'm going to bring your Arcturian guide. Everybody has at least one Arcturian guide, I'm certain. I'm going to bring them into your space with you in a very safe way so that you can start to meet them. At least start, just if you're not comfortable with that, or if you're not familiar with them at all yet, then at least start to just feel what it feels like for them to be in your presence. If you are comfortable and you're ready to start building that relationship, then I want you to tune in with your clairs, tune into everything that you see, hear, feel, and know. Claircognizance is you might just know certain things about your guide. And this is like my divine privilege to do this for you. So let's do that. All right, so I'm going to ask you to get into receiving mode. If you've never worked with me before and you don't know what that means, I'll talk you through it. So receiving mode is where you have a nice straight spine. So sitting in a chair with a back would be good, or on a sofa that has something you can lean back, okay? Because you want to have a straight spine, but you want to lean back a little bit. Because when you can release the tension and the resistance from your body, you have a more strong experience. So leaning back a little bit now, closing your eyes as we get started. Get comfortable. Now I want you to start by placing your hands over your heart chakra, right in the center of your chest. Eyes still closed. And I'm going to count you through a couple of deep breaths. And I want you to know that with every single breath, your mind is getting quieter. And with every single breath, your body is getting more still. And in this quiet stillness, it's so much easier for your guides to connect with you and for me to connect with you. So I'm going to ask you to inhale slowly now. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath at the top and exhale. 2, 3, 4. Another deep breath in. 2, 3, 4. Hold and exhale. 2, 3, 4. Last deep breath in. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath and exhale. 2, 3, 4. Good. So keep your eyes closed, but now just continue to breathe in a nice, relaxed way. And you can keep your hands over your heart, or you can place them in your lap, palms up to receive. Breathing nice and deep, nice and relaxed. I'm going to create a sacred space around you now for protection. So I call on Archangel Michael to enter into your space with you on your left-hand side. So tune in and feel that he is now standing on your left-hand side. Let go of any doubts. It doesn't matter what your ego or your mind wants to say. I know he's there. I see him with you. And the more you practice, the more you will be able to feel. He is on your left-hand side, and you can feel it as pressure in the ear or pressure against the body as he joins your space. This is an angel of divine protection, and he works with blue light. On your right-hand side, I'm going to call in Archangel Raphael. This is an angel of healing, and he works with green light. Feel him join you on your right-hand side now. Feels a little different than Michael because they have a different frequency, a different energy. Archangel Michael feels like a big boulder, like a big pressure. And Archangel Raphael feels more like flowy, like water. In front of you, I'm going to call in the divine feminine angel, Archangel Haniel. She works with pink light and unconditional love frequency. And behind you, I'm going to call in your highest human self, the version of you that has it all figured out, the version of you that is guiding you. They're standing behind you now. Good. So I'm going to ask these beings that are holding this sacred space on every side, behind and front, left and right. I'm going to ask them now to surround you with their love, with their healing, with their support, and with their protection. So you start to get wrapped up in ribbons of light, starting with the pink rays, which is Archangel Haniel's unconditional love, completely wrapping you up from the tips of your toes to the top of your head so that you are in what appears to be a cocoon of light. And the first layer is pink. The next layer is from Archangel Raphael. It's this beautiful bright green frequency, these green rays of healing, wrapping you up now. Second layer, good. Your highest human self is wrapping you up in purple light so that you can really tune into your intuition and your gifts during this experience. And then finally, Archangel Michael is surrounding you with a bubble of blue light. It's shaped like an egg. It goes all the way around your aura. And this is a filter. It acts like a filter for your protection so that only that which is for your highest good can connect with you. Everything that happens in these moments together, it's all for your highest good. And so finally, we're going to connect now with God Source or Father, Mother, God, or the Great Spirit, whatever word you prefer, but that creator being. So I'm going to call on them now. And my word for God Source is Baba, and it means grandmother or grandfather spirit. Baba, from where you exist, at the edge of the universe, where the stars end And there is a black void of pure potential. There is also a doorway of light. I ask that you open your doorway of light to us now and allow that light to pour down. And I see a huge stream of light, pure white light, pouring out of the door, cascading down through the heavens, weaving through the stars like a river of light, all the way down to earth. And when it comes down through Earth's atmosphere, it finds you. Wherever you are on the surface of this planet, it finds you easily. You are its child. In this moment that you are hearing these words, it is divinely timed that you are having this experience. The white light of God's source comes down through the ceiling of the room that you're in, or comes down through the space that you're in, to hover just above your head. And when it does make contact with your head, it's going to feel warm and tingly and safe. And it slowly lowers itself down to touch you on the top of the head in 3, 2, 1. White light pours down over your body, soothing you, protecting you, connecting you back to your Creator, filling you up with light and love and energy, giving you a beautiful clearing. And that white light pours down also within you, going in through the crown chakra at the top of your head, filling up your third eye, your ear chakras, your throat, moving down to fill up your heart space, your stomach, pouring down your arms into your hands and fingers, pouring down your spine into your hips, legs, feet, and toes, until you are so filled with white light that you are glowing. And I ask God Source, anchor us here, anchor us in this light. Let everything that we experience be of divine origins. Let it be true. Let it be divinely timed and orchestrated for the highest good of everyone participating. We thank you. Take a nice deep breath. Sacred space is created. Intention is set. We are ready to call in your Arcturian guide. Keeping your eyes closed, make sure that you are still in receiving mode. Lean back a little. Take a deep breath. Let the resistance leave your body. Sometimes it helps to tilt your head up a little bit. That's really strong receiving mode. I call on the Arcturian guide for every single person participating in this exercise. I call on the Arcturian guide that is working with you now. That is the perfect guide for you to meet in this moment. I call them forward. Come forward, Arcturian guide. And I see them stepping out of light or mist. Directly in front of you, they step forward. And they're gazing at you with so much love. They're tall and blue, and they have beautiful, warm, loving eyes. I want to ask you a series of questions, and I want you to trust your first instinct. And I'm going to ask this Arcturian guide to connect with you now, for them to be loud, clear, bold, for them to help you to receive the answers about them, and for them to help you hear, feel, see, and know everything that they are sending. So again, take a nice deep breath. Okay, this Arcturian guide knows you very well. This is someone that's been with you for more than just this life. Okay, so multiple lifetimes with this either as your guide or potentially having a lifetime with them. Maybe they've been human with you. Maybe you've been Arcturian with them. Or maybe you were both something entirely different, like Pleiadians together. But you know if this guide right now is masculine or feminine. It's the first thing you feel. Trust it, masculine or feminine. Now I want you to ask yourself, is this a family member to you, a friend, or a mentor? Feel into it. And you can ask them yourself too. Are we family? Are you my mentor, or have you been in the past? Are you a friend? Are you all of the above, maybe? And they step a little closer when you ask that, and I see them place a hand on your left cheek. And then they say, remember. And they show you visions in your mind's eye as they have that connection from hand to cheek. Close your eyes and see the visions of you and this guide laughing together in other lifetimes, laughing, having deep, long conversations into the night, embracing one another in a hug, eating food together, greeting one another. There's much to uncover. And they see so much of themselves in you. And they are so proud, truly so proud of all that you have already overcome. And you're still going. Your path here has only just begun. And this guide would be so honored to help you in your earth mission. I hear them saying things like, it goes deeper than you know. And they're talking about their connection with you. And they're also saying things like, lean on me, call on me, I'm here. And they want you to know that you've never been alone. As a human, sometimes we can feel alone, but you have never been alone. You are so surrounded right now by your angels, your guides, and this Arcturian. Feel their love for you now. See with your mind's eye their eyes, their body, their smile, their hand on you. Feel it. Feel that bond. And for those of you that would like to try to get a name for your guide, I'm going to ask your guide now, your Arcturian guide, please give your person, the English translation using our alphabet so that we can say it, of your name, so that we may call on you and work with you further. Tune in. You might clairvoyantly see the letters written out, or just one letter, that's fine. You may clairaudiently hear it. You may claircognizantly just know it. But I'm going to be quiet for a second while that guide gives you their name now. They may also give you a message. Beautiful. And I want you to know that at any point, you can call on this guide and get to know them even deeper. And this is a beautiful thing to do, is to get to know your guides one at a time, one by one, their name, their relationship with you, their connection to you. It creates such a fulfilling earthly human experience to do this. So when you're ready, you can open up your eyes and come back into this moment with me. And I just want to thank you all for trying that. If that was the first time you've ever done anything like that, thank you for trusting me. Thank you for trying something new. If you enjoyed that, you will love the Starseed Academy membership, let me tell you. Oh my God. But I'm going to leave the video there for now, and I cannot wait to read your comments about your experience. So thank you so much. And before you go, please remember, listen to your heart and the quiet voice within, because you are so much more than the body you are in. I love you all. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.